welcome. Our topic today is Nigerian economy. Nigerian economy. Nigeria is very rich in mineral and agricultural resources like crude oil and natural gas, tin, columbite, limestone, and palm oil. Nigeria makes most of its money from exporting crude oil and natural gas to other countries. This means that the economy is very dependent on oil. Nigerian economy also depends on agricultural crops such as beans, rice, cassava, onions, tomatoes are most of the food that Nigerians eat. Crude oil production was discovered in 1956 at Oloibiri in the Niger Delta region. Major oil exploration companies are operating in Nigeria. We have Shell, Mobil, Ajib, Chevron, Texaco. These are all crude oil explorating countries in Nigeria. So they explore and they operate for crude oil in the country. Then we have oil wells in Nigeria, crude oil refineries. Then we're going to discuss Nigeria as a member of OPEC. So oil wells that we have in Nigeria, we have in Bayelsa Delta, Akwa Ibom. Then the crude oil refineries we have in Kaduna, we have in Warri, and we have in Port Harcourt. So this is an example of an oil well. Okay, so this an oil well and this is an oil refinery in Nigeria. Okay, so Nigeria is now the exporter of crude oil in the world. So we are the 6th exporter of crude oil. This is the refining of crude oil. These are men working in the crude oil site. Okay, now Nigeria, like I said, is the 7th most populous nation in the world. If you have an affordable product, okay, you have a ready market in Nigeria. Thousands of young people who graduate every year, that is a surplus of labor in Nigeria. Now, highly decent professionals of Nigeria are found in. Now, Nigeria has a list of many natural resources. Like we say, petroleum. Nigeria is the largest producer of petroleum in Africa and the 8th largest exporter of crude oil in the world. We have the 10th oil reserves worldwide. Petroleum is accounting for 80% of government earnings. Like I said earlier, oil was discovered in Oloibiri in Rivers State, Nigeria, 1956. By 1957, production of crude oil had begun, and in 1960, tons of crude oil has been exported from Nigeria to other countries of the world. Now, the Nigerian has a total of 159 oil fields and 481 wells, according to the Department of Petroleum Resources. Okay, now natural gas. If you think Nigeria has a huge deposit of crude oil, then her natural gas reserves are 3 times as large as her oil reserves. With well over 187 by 1,012 cubic feet of gas reserves. So the biggest gas company in Nigeria is the liquefied gas company. Other mineral resources found in Nigeria include coal, bitumen, tin, iron, columbite, uranium, besides other rich agricultural resources. Now, cocoa is one of the foreign exchange, and cocoa farming provides a potential for foreign exchange. Okay, Nigeria needs to diversify its economy. Nigeria is famous in oil production, and we remember that Malaysia even came here to pick a seed from Nigeria. Okay, now we have palm oil in Nigeria. Okay, the people and the produce. How Nigeria produces, especially in agriculture and partially in mining. In the north, the herdsmen and farmers work hard for their livelihood. Using a schedule such as this is very slow method and very tiring. So some of the settlements have dug wells and made the work simpler. One of Nigeria's cash crops and one which does not need water is the groundnut. Nigeria is a land of contrast. In the south, it rains more often and the people are occupied in obtaining the product of oil palm and in attending to the cocoa plantation. Throughout Nigeria, you can see many strong people who are hardworking. Many people try to relax in the heat of the day with sugar cane. The chief mineral that we mine in Nigeria is tin. Now, these tin deposits are alluvial and mined by the open cast method. As you can see, much of the work is done by hand. The climate of the northern Nigeria is ideal for growing granules. So you can see that this tin mining is done by hand. So the climate of Nigeria is ideal for growing granules. Farmers work their small farm plots just as their fathers have done in centuries. Some of the farming tools in Nigeria are primitive and most citizens are too slow to change. After plowing, there is much work for all the members of the family in sowing the new crops, perhaps in the very way you have not seen before. Farmers use their feet, pushing the soil to one side and dropping the seed and covering it up again. After 4 months of crop is ready for harvesting, the whole crops are pulled from the ground because the nuts are formed beneath the ground. So you can see the farm is being worked on. Like I said earlier, after 4 months, the crop is ready for harvesting and the whole crops are pulled from the ground because the nuts are found beneath the ground. That is why we call them ground nuts. So the crop is taken to a safe place and they are staked. This simple tool are actually used for threshing. Threshing means removing the nuts from the plants. So these farmers are threshing. They are trying to remove the nuts from the plants. So when they have brought out all the nuts from the plants, then the women take over their job. Is the hard and monotonous one of pounding the nuts in mortar to break up the husk. To separate husks from nuts, we use the wind. This is an old way but simple way, but for small farmers, it does the job well. So what they are doing is called winnowing. Winnowing is a process whereby wind helps to remove the husk that are on the nuts. Now a final shake to make sure the nuts are quite clean. Because the cleaner the nuts, the better the market price. The harvest is over and that part of the crop which we do not need for our own food is ready for sale. So the official opening of the groundnut market is actually in November. So you see farmers taking their produce to the market to sell. And soon the traffic on the road is very busy as all sorts of people with their goods head to the town to sell their crops. Now we are looking at savings and resource preservation. Savings means putting money aside. It's very important that we save. So savings means putting money aside. People save by depositing in a bank or investing in a company shares or buying property. So these are the various ways in which people save. Okay, some call it a susu. Okay, the Yorubas call it a susu or ajo. Igbo call it isu or utu, Edo or su. Now look at resource development. Resource development. Now, how are capital being raised? Okay, most often capital is raised by either savings, okay, either inheritance from property and so on. Then resource redistribution. How are resources redistributed? Okay, there are some resources that we don't have in Nigeria but they are imported, like cars, electronics, telecommunication services. Then there are resources that Nigeria exports to other countries like crude oil, like cocoa, groundnut, cassava, and so on. So the climate, vegetation, and landform of an area affects the lives of the people who live in that area. For example, people who live around rainforests have more food. Thanks for watching this video, and please do complete and upload your assignment. Have a fabulous day and be good.